1923 Season 2, Episode 6 was packed with major character deaths, setting the stage for the show's final sequence. Finally, all the pieces are in their proper positions for the finale. Spencer Dutton's train to Montana is awaited by Jacob, Sheriff McDowell, and Banner Creighton's man, meaning more action and blood is still to come. So far in Season 2, the Duttons have been facing a harsh winter while teetering on the edge of war. Meanwhile, Spencer and his wife Alexandra are on separate, grueling journeys back to Montana. Spencer racing to save his family before it's too late, and Alexandra, now pregnant, determined to reunite with him and reclaim their love. Whether at the ranch or at Livingston Station, everyone is waiting for Spencer to return home at the beginning of Episode 7 of Season 2 of 1923. This is essentially the proverbial deep breath before the impending storm, and a conflict is imminent. After witnessing all those corpses in Tiana's wake, Mamie eventually catches up to her. Although the warrant orders them to bring Tiana in for interrogation, the three of them concur that males are the issue here. Mamie is prepared to release her until Tiana shoots them, which is a foolish notion. After a chase, Tiana is taken into custody. Despite being assured of a fair trial, Tiana exposes the cruel and unfair treatment she has received and doesn't mince words about the killings. She does, however, use the atrocities she experienced to defend her behavior. When Banner arrives at Livingston Station, he makes the decision to flee the town permanently. Why? That's because Whitfield tortured those females in a harsh and nasty manner. Despite his refusal to participate, Jacob won't let him go, arguing that he initiated the situation and must see it through to completion. They finally come to an agreement, and Jacob consents to let Banner's wife and child board the train. Banner responds by stating that the conflict is occurring on multiple fronts and implying that the ranch would be impacted as well. And sure enough, that's exactly what occurs when Banner's soldiers cross the ridge and start fighting. As the group tries to protect the property, Kara grabs the hunting rifle and takes center stage as gunshots echo in the distance. Alex is still struggling in her cold tomb, and the car isn't the best place to try to weather the storm. Before facing the cold and wind, she gathers as many articles of clothing as she can, including newspapers, letters, and a lighter. She's trying to light a fire here. I realize this is a pet peeve, but why did the pair use the lighter in the previous episode? In any case, Alex is furious and accuses God, or more accurately, Taylor Sheridan, of sending her to hell only to freeze her to death. But when a train crosses the horizon, it appears that her ordeal will soon be over. Spencer's train. When Spencer spots Alex, he leaps from the train and runs to meet her. Following brief reunions, Spencer hurries to the train while holding her. Fortunately, the train is halted and she is now able to board, but there is an issue. She needs to warm up because she has severe frostbite. She needs to warm up gradually because she's not feeling well, the onboard doctor says. The doctor advises Spencer not to get off at Livingston due to Alex's unstable condition. He must instead wait until Bozeman, when she will be met by an ambulance. Fighting breaks out shortly after the train arrives at Livingston Station. Prior to Bill shooting him dead on the platform, Spencer, of all people, assists Banner's wife and child in boarding. But he also honors his promise to protect Jacob and the others by shooting some of his own troops. Banner's family will be transported to Portland by Jacob, he promises. Spencer is required at the ranch, but Jacob boards the train next and meets Alex. After getting shot in the stomach, Jacob stays around as well, and the two of them go to the hospital together. Spencer gathers the troops, bids Alex farewell, and rushes back to save Yellowstone. Whitfield's men, regrettably, have been waiting for the darkness to cover them, and now they attack. The men at the ranch attack in their hundreds, and there are far too many of them for them to repel. As expected, they use Molotovs to set the place on fire, but the group is able to extinguish it before the entire area catches fire. Elizabeth also contributes in some way. Although he doesn't really need them, Spencer does ultimately arrive with additional soldiers. Armed with 2 pistols and a large supply of ammunition, he enters the building and kills every man by making his best impersonation of a tomb raider. Following this, they quickly come to the conclusion that Jack is dead, but the big boss is clearly still alive even though the foot soldiers have left. Spencer gets ready to retaliate after hearing about Whitfield. Alex gives birth at the hospital as Jacob is bandaged. While Alex urgently needs surgery to amputate her frostbitten limbs, the infant is clearly preterm and in a precarious position. Alex, however, declines and clings to her sweetheart. Before obstinately concluding that dying is preferable to attempting to raise a child with mutilated limbs, Alex decides on the name John after his brother. Soon after, Spencer and Kara also arrive, and Alex dies while Spencer cradles him and the baby and sleeps through the night. Fortunately, the kid is unharmed, but Spencer's rage and thirst for vengeance are stoked. After arriving at the estate, Spencer shoots Lindy dead and approaches Whitfield. Spencer destroys the estate and shoots him in the head after forcing him to say Alex's name. TNN is on trial before a court, but because there are no witnesses, she is exonerated of any guilt. She is allowed to leave, and after receiving a horse, sets out to find a new home in uncharted territory. Since she no longer has a purpose to be here, once Whitfield is killed and the ranch is rescued, Elizabeth makes the decision to depart. While Jacob talks to Spencer and chooses not to ride out with him, she bids Kara farewell. Knowing that his days of partying and mingling are coming to an end, he will instead take care of Spencer's grandson. He calls Alex a shooting star and remains with Kara. The story's conclusion is confirmed by the narrative as Jacob and Kara sit together. Spencer never gets married again, but he does have another son because of a widow's support. For Spencer, Alex's memory never goes away. It remains as intense and agonizing as ever, confirming that she is his only true love. This story ends when Spencer does eventually die and is reunited with Alex again, giving them the joyful ending they have always desired.